Hi everyone, welcome to your July tarot card reading. Thanks so much for being here. I have two quick announcements. The first about my schedule, and then the second about my services and changes to my channel, okay? First of all, if you're interested in booking a private reading, I'm only going to be available the first couple of weeks of July, sort of piggybacking from June, okay? I'm moving to Europe, and I'm going to need a couple weeks to travel there, get settled, find a place, an apartment, all that good stuff. So I'm just going to be, my mind's not going to be in the proper place to be doing private readings. So I'll keep my website up, but if you book, at the last part of July, I'm probably not going to deliver your reading until August. So I just wanted to let you know that as well. Changes to my services, okay? I'm officially undergoing, learning astrology. I'm beginning. I would never call myself an astrologer at this point in time, and I've said that many, many times. But I am going to start offering software generated reports alongside your tarot card reading. So if it's your birthday and you want your birthday solar return snapshot, I'll be able to offer that for you. If you want, your next 3, 6 months or a year-long transit report, types of things that you can expect, progressive reports, all those types of things. Again, it's not my interpretation, it will be computer generated, but it will be an add-on to your tarot card readings if that's something that you guys want. As far as astrocartography, I'm going to be offering a little bit of a service since I am learning and really delving into that realm of astrology. I will be offering some analysis for that as well within the next couple of weeks. You'll be able to book that on my website. It'll be very basic, very simple. It will be very cost effective because again, I'm not a professional yet, so I'm still learning, so you'll kind of need to bear with me and just deal with the fact that I might take, a more simplistic approach to it and just kind of do some pinpoints and some bullet points for you and that kind of thing. My channel is going to expand and begin to incorporate more astrology as well, because it is truly a passion of mine. Not so much talking about transits and what this full moon means. I think we all kind of have, if you like that kind of thing, you probably have an astrologer that you like already. So I don't want to try to piggyback on anyone else. I kind of want to take a little bit of a different road with it and offer something unique and something very different and something that I hope provides value. But that will come in time as I study and as I grow and as I learn. It will come in time. But I just want to let you know that my channel will be changing. I will likely change the name of my channel as well. And when I feel comfortable, then I will begin to offer private or personalized astrological readings for you, okay? But in the meantime, thanks for listening. Enjoy your July reading. And that's it. Thank you so much. Bye. Hello Pisces, how are you? Welcome to your July reading. Thanks so much for being here. This is actually the second time I'm doing this reading. Apparently my camera decided to not record the almost hour-long reading that I did for you yesterday. I think it was like 45 minutes or 50 minutes or something. And I don't even remember anything about that reading as per the norm. I normally don't remember the things that I say. But it is what it is. Maybe the universe was like, you know what, Jane, Pisces isn't going to get anything from that. You got to redo it. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise. So let's go with that. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay. 8 of Swords. Okay. First of all, before I begin, let me preempt everything. All right. Because the readings this month have been very heavy and very intense. And I actually just got an alert on my phone because I subscribe to the Leo King, who's an astrologer who's awesome and from my hometown, Las Vegas. And he just alerted something, and it was like the universe is asking you to change. You follow your instinct, you're on the right track, but it's going to require some gnarly changes. And that word gnarly could not be a better way to describe it, okay? We are all being forced to make these internal soul level revisions to our path. All right, and it's a big deal. Now, I'm not saying your reading is going to be heavy. It may or may not be. Aquarius wasn't too bad, but Capricorn was really bad. It was not bad, but just like intense, you know, and it's the universe really pushing you and really challenging you to grow and transform into a completely different person. So, I mean, there's a lot going on. And with the Eight of Swords coming out in the first position, it's almost as though you are not unaware, and I wouldn't say in denial, but you may be in avoidance. Avoiding what needs to be faced. Okay? You're finding yourself between a rock and a hard place, and you don't quite know or understand, or you're not quite able to feel your way out. All right? Your intuition is probably a little bit too quiet, and your mind a little bit too loud. So you're standing still and you're not taking action. I think it's okay. I'm not sure. I think it's okay, you know, because if you're not, like if your mind is talking to you too much, there's too much clutter, there's too much like clucking, you know, too many, for me, like the freaking roosters, too many roosters crowing in your mind. It's almost impossible to think and to find settlement somewhere. Okay? And from an emotional standpoint, the Eight of Swords being of the mind and the illusions in which we, you know, our tunnel vision, if you will. But you being an emotionally driven sign, like the most emotionally driven sign, you know, the 12th house, you rule the 12th house. It's a very subconscious place. So for so much mental activity to be clouding your mental activity, to your emotional activity is obviously, you know, kind of hindering progress at this time. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Eight of Cups, not moving on. So the number 8, interestingly enough, got a little friend here. I have little ants, you know, I mean, not a lot, but being in Bali, you just learn to coexist with nature and just kind of let them do their thing. So if you see them crawling around, that's fine. But the number 8, associated with the 8th house, death and regeneration, ruled by Scorpio, right? I mean, it's you're going through it. You're going through something. And I think that you may even feel stuck there, right? Because 8 of Cups is about moving on. It's about leaving comfort behind. But when it's challenged, you're not leaving it behind. You're still there. You're still festering. But I think it's because you're just not, your mind, because it's equal. Equal cups, equal swords, right? 8 and 8. You're at odds. You're like totally clashing. Therefore, remaining stationary. Your foundational position is the High Priestess. Okay? I love this card so much. I love the High Priestess. It's not the image. It's not the deck. It's not, I mean, it's just the High Priestess and what she represents. Because she represents conquering the illusions. She represents, you know, power over the subconscious. And in your foundational, and that's where you live. That's where your realm, Pisces, that's your house. The subconscious, the natural undoing of the human experience, right? The breakdown kind of thing. And she is here. She's here in a very loud capacity, okay? It's almost as though she's kind of like wedging her way through. And she's going to rise up because the smoke here is rising up. And I know you can't really see that, but if I hold it up, you'll see the smoke of the incense, right? Rising and creating a wedge and eventually winning, okay? Between the mind and the heart, the mind and the emotion. in the foundational position. You're not being misled, guys. You're not lost. You're exactly where you need to be. I've been saying that for a couple months now to everybody. We're all just exactly where we need to be, plain and simple. And the Artisan of Swords, this could be someone, this is the card of Gemini, okay? But could be another air sign or someone that has a high intellectual capacity, someone very intelligent, very smart, and someone who shares talents and creation, and someone who has a lot to offer, a lot of tools for you to use in your process of your life process. This could be a past love, it could be a friend, a coworker, whomever. It's just someone here, someone who has influence in your life who is showing up in the spread, all right? It doesn't have to be Gemini, but it could have a more air-like influence, Libra or Aquarius vibe. It could even be a version of yourself as well. You know, if let's say you have a Gemini rising, okay? It could be, yeah, I mean, it could really just be anybody. Let's get more information for you though. Six of Cups. See, it's interesting, the sword cup situation that's going on, kind of like here's swords, here's cups. This is a card of the past. All right, interesting to have the past in your future, meaning that there may be a reconnection coming up for you, a reconnection with someone or something. Maybe there's even because this is also a karmic message, you know, a karmic or something from your past life coming to surface, coming up to play. In a very playful and very innocent way. I often see this in a very superficial level. Right? It's not deep, it's not depth, it's not intense, all right? And it's something that does make you happy, like you're thinking about someone and they are thinking about you as well. And this is sort of that coming together, or the meeting of the minds and the meeting of the hearts as well. Okay, now some of you that are in relationships, I think this would be a resurfacing of more simple times, where things were easier, things were better. For those of you who are single, it could be someone coming back into your life, or it could even be a version of yourself, okay, coming out to play. I don't know why that's coming to my mind, but something is coming out to play. Something is like brewing, and it is something that you want. It is something that you long for or that you crave, okay? And with the karmic, you know, story, it is something that is destined, if you will. And the Devotee of Coins. Let's see, I'm doing this on my phone now because my camera pooped out on me. Hopefully it seems to have more width. Hopefully it'll be okay. Devotee of Coins, a message, an offering. You may be the one that wants to reach out to someone. I'm seeing it here. Your blood is running hot right now. You have a lot of passion. You have a lot of love. See the reds. I'll say it a million times. I say it every month. I'll say it to you. I love the red in this deck because it is so rich. And to me, it's like that iron rich blood, and it's just like, oh, the deepest passion that we ever possibly could exhibit. And even with the Devotee of Coins, who's like the Page of Coins, it's a more superficial, it's a more light-hearted message, okay? It's not like an intense conversation or anything, but it's from a place, a motivated place, motivated by passion, motivated by love. And I like the mixture of passion with the reality and the tangibility of the coins or the pentacles. It's the passion that you can have. This may be someone that really has, I'm going to say has influence in your life, but that really affects you in a very profound way. I'm seeing them as being very subtle, and I don't know why the word peculiar is coming to my mind, but someone who's very peculiar, who acts in peculiar and unpredictable ways. Someone that does spark your interest, or someone that is unpredictable. Six of Wands, 6 and 6. Card of victory, okay, a card of success, a card of celebration as well. I don't know how this is really relating to you, but it's almost as though there's been a battle, because I see this as, you know, a general being celebrated for a job well done kind of thing, you know, for leading the army to victory. But it is of a battle, not of the entire war. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of a difference. Like, the story's not over. It's only in number 6. You still have 7, 8, 9, and 10 left to go. But you've kind of reached a halfway point. You've made it there. You're at 50%. 50% of the story. And a job well done. Did I put reversals? I totally put reversals in here. We're not getting any so far. And the Chariot. Oh, see, these are like the same. I don't know why they're like the same. Chariot. Okay, where is it? This one, Chariot, and the 6 of Wands. A Pharaoh. Again, there's an element of the secret world, though, right? Chariot is the card of Cancer, or the sign of Cancer. And when you think of the crab, the hard shell on the outside and the soft on the inside. Significant protection and projection of strength in order to protect the vulnerable inside. And you may be displaying a, you know, like that projection of strength, that putting that armor on so that you do not get hurt. It's interesting, we have the Artisan of Swords, the one that provides the tools for the Emperor and the Pharaoh and whomever to use at war. I see this as a representative of our private world. And even though there is a celebration, 6 of Wands, even though there is a celebration, and maybe you have made it halfway, okay? You know what it took to get there. It's one of those kind of, not to be totally like Debbie Downer about it, but it's a little bit bittersweet, where maybe you have some success in reconnecting or something coming out to play, as I said, and you're happy about that, but still very cautious about that as well, because you know how quickly you become vulnerable and how quickly you can attach. And you know what you've been through, right? With the 6 of Cups, there's history. There's a story behind this, whether it is a karmic thing, right, from a past life, which, to be honest, you guys, just so you know, I thought past lives was like a totally stupid thing for a really long time. And I was like, that, I don't believe it. I think that's a little ridiculous. And, you know, I was really not a believer. But as I'm studying astrology and evolutionary astrology specifically, I'm like really changing my mind about that, because it kind of makes sense. And whether you believe it or not, okay, let's just say, for the sake of me, okay, like I'm gonna speak to it in that way. The lesson, the karmic carryover from a past life, something that is unfinished, right, is coming back. And even though, you know, maybe you don't have a long history in this life, maybe a year or 2 or 3 years, you on some subconscious 12th house type of level know what it has gone in and the investment that has gone into getting you to this only halfway point. Now, I'm not trying to say that you guys have so much more left, right? Because when you think about it, the 10, the reward, the ultimate outcome is worth it. But I think that there's still work that needs to be done in your relationships as well as in yourself in order for ultimate success to really come to play. Okay? And the Hermit. In your hopes and fears, maybe you're hopeful that you can maybe remain in your hermit phase. You can remain disconnected. You can remain you can remain hidden for a while, just a little while longer. But at the same time, maybe you are afraid that your partner or someone else is in that same retreat and that same retraction, and you cannot access them. You are just as inaccessible as they are. Seriously, guys, everybody has the same story. I feel like I'm doing the same reading over and over and over. You have a little bit more specifics, but don't be afraid of this. It is something to be celebrated. But it's the gnarly changes that are my friend the Leo King is, we're not friends, but my astrologer, the Leo King, is talking about. And we are going through that. And the Emperor, okay? The outcome. Maybe it's the same person, maybe it's someone else, maybe it's a version of yourself. The Emperor is actually the card of Aries, okay, just FYI, but could also be a card of another fire sign. And this person is very much in control, very much still emotionally inaccessible, still wearing that armor, still the word pedestal, like someone is up on a pedestal, someone is unattainable at this time. You included, Pisces, as well. You included. Okay. Whoa, okay. I just had a whole bunch fall out here. So I'm going to take the ones that fell out, all right, in the order in which they fell out. So 1, 2, and 3. And then the rest will come out in a minute. Okay, Enchantress of Coins, Enchantress of Cups, and the Devotee of Wands. Let's talk about these for a moment. You're in a phase of manifestation, okay? The Enchantress of Wands, of Coins, Queen of Coins, she's beckoning, okay? She's calling upon the universe for manifestation of desire. The having, like I said, the coins, the physical, the tangible aspect of goals and ambitions, the having of those things. And she is more capable of actualizing things than the other queens, okay? She's more capable. It's easier for her. And that's you in this instance and in this story. This is someone, I really think that there's an intense connection that a karmic connection, okay, for some of you. And if you're totally single, like there's a presence around you that is undeniable. And whether or not you know this person or not, maybe some of you will have someone introduced, okay? And I'm seeing, I don't think this is you, even though it is a cup, okay? I think this is kind of like just the energy between the two of you. Although it could be another sign, it could be another Cancer, not another Cancer, it could be a Cancer. I know I'm reading for Pisces, or a Scorpio as well. Even though this is the card of Cancer, I see it as Scorpio. I don't know why, because of the intensity, right? And this like, those like fire eyes. I love this card. I love this deck. I can't get enough of this deck. I really, really can't. It teaches me so much, you know. But she is like, what's the word? Will stop at nothing to have what she wants. There's intense and extreme levels of like requiring the universe to bring you things. Now, I don't know what's going on with this person. There seems to be a lack of communication. There's closed doors. There's things going on behind closed doors as well. Things going unsaid, things being unexpressed, things being blocked. So why the success and why the reconnection when it has been blocked? You know, I'm not sure. Its story is going to be different for each of you. Why are they doing what they're doing? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you being so protective? Well, because they're being protective. And why are they being protective? Maybe it's because you're being protective and you just perceive that person as being closed and unavailable, when in fact that is absolutely not the case. You are more intense and more driven and more passionate than you ever were, but you're not about to show it. You are wanting that person or that presence in your life, so you are demanding it of the universe. Okay, you're demanding it. I think you'll get it. Let's see what comes out. 3 of Coins. Communication. I see these opposite. Communication. But creative solutions. Now, there's likely a reason why the shutdown. Why the hermit mode? Universally, in terms of the stars and planets, yes. But in other words, in other ways, something happened in your connection or in your relationship that caused a shutdown. You both shut down. You both blocked each other, maybe even in a literal sense, like on Facebook and Instagram, like block. But it didn't make the feelings go away. And you know, High Priestess, you know how they feel and they know how you feel. But you're both just like tiptoeing and walking around on eggshells because you're in this crab mode right now. But 3 of Coins is promising for progress, right? It's promising for creative change. Let's get creative in our relationships. If something's really not working, let's be different. Let's be individualized. Let's like make a relationship that works for us. And both parties being willing to do that, being willing to communicate and work together. Now, this may take a while to really come to surface, okay? Because these are intense. Even the Page of Wands, it's hard, okay? Because she's not just gonna let just anybody in. And even though you share a connection, doesn't necessarily mean that you both believe that this is gonna work, you know? But at some point in the future, when you do come together in a place, you know, from understanding, and a place of like, wow, this really could be something to work with in this lifetime, that there really is a purpose and a meaning behind why we came together, or why, you know, like I said, if you're not in a relationship right now, it's likely that someone may be introduced. Right now, no, but in the future, yes. Something will be rekindled for a lot of you as well, a past, an ex, something like that. And you'll find a way to design and create a relationship that makes sense. The Hierophant reversed, it's going to require a breakdown of your belief system. Hierophant reversed is no joke, all right? This is the gnarly change. I'm stealing that from the Leo King, but I fully credit the Leo King. Okay, this is the gnarly change that is required. Let's talk about the Hierophant for just a moment and my personal interpretation of it and how I see it in placement, okay? even though it's the card of Taurus, which in and of itself is the card of self-reliance and is a very slow moving energy. It's fixed earth. Not only is it fixed, but it's also the slow moving energy of the four elements. So it doesn't change easily. It represents the state, government, institutions, educational, and our childhood conditioning as well. And I think we all know and we all accept that our conditioning is one of the hardest things to change. I think we all know that, right? Because it's so ingrained and so deep rooted, and it's stuff that comes at us from every angle. You know, like even if you look at America, I'm American, so let's talk about America for just a moment. So we have people that were born and raised in Southern California, and they have their culture and they have their social norms and things that are acceptable and things that are not. But you take a person from California and you place them in the deep South, okay, in the boondocks of Louisiana or even like New Orleans, the culture is entirely different. And it is those like communities and those tight-knit conditioning, those tight-knit, you know, places, even though you're like of a big thing, it gets very, very localized. And a person from New Orleans is always going to be a person from New Orleans, right? And there's certain traditions and certain systems and certain beliefs and life, whatever, that they abide by. It has nothing to do with whether someone is, you know, open-minded or not. It has nothing to do with that. It's just, it's your soul. It's your roots. So to change and to fundamentally make revision, it's not impossible. Like people do it every day. It's not impossible. But if you are of the belief that you grow up, you go to college, you get a job, you get married, you have babies, you travel, you do whatever you do, if you're of that belief system, something is going to shake that up. That was a really roundabout way of saying that something is going to shake it up. The gnarly changes. And it's true. Here it is. And it's at the forefront of your mind. You know this. You know this is happening already. Okay? It's right at it's in the very front of your mind. It's very conscious. You can't avoid it. Eight of Swords. You can't just, it's just happening, plain and simple. The Sun reversed. Bittersweet, like I said. I'm not going to speak too much to this. It's bittersweet. Good in that you are manifesting the things that you desire, but bitter because you know that in order to have what you desire, it's going to require fundamental change. And that you may have to live a life that is different than you thought you would. And you may have even recently gone through a bit of a rebellion in some way, shape, or form, you know, a little bit of a anti-system, totally like I'm against everything. And now you're kind of reverting back like, oh, well, maybe there wasn't so much so bad about that. I was rebelling for the sake of rebelling, and I was doing what I put my guards up just because it didn't really go my way. And now you're kind of like working together with how the life is sort of panning out, if that makes sense. That might not make sense. Let's just keep going. Let's just move on. The one torn asunder, another major arcana in your environment, but this is of stagnation, of delay, okay? Like I said, you're not done yet, and this is an ongoing process, and it's something that can be, you know, I would say takes practice. It's going to require you to see, again, Southern California versus Louisiana or New Orleans, to see things the way the other culture sees it. And your person is the other culture. Likely they're, likely they are different. I mean, they are different from you. They are different. And they're going through it too. Like, it's not just you. Everyone's going through this. And we're all feeling uprooted. And the Fool, another major arcana, but in your hopes and fears. Fearful of what the new journey is getting, like Eight of Cups in your challenge position down here below. And excitement. I'm going to do a little bit of mythology for you. I hope you guys don't mind. This is the card of Orpheus, who is a musician, all right? He and his wife were, I don't know the backstory, but just to make it short, were taken by Hades and taken to the underworld. It was promised that Hades would let them go. He would let Orpheus go first, the wife go second. If Orpheus did not look back before he left the shade, he would release his wife. But unfortunately, Orpheus, in his excitement, looked back, and he had to watch as his wife got sucked back into the shade of Hades, never to be reunited again. The one thing I love about mythology is that it's very, like, crappy. Okay, and I love that it is, because it's like a real representation sometimes of how life goes, you know? And it's not all magic and fairy tales and ponies and Disney, you know, because Disney is kind of how we expect life to be now, and it's just totally not like that. And there's fear that you may make that mistake. There's fear that you may look back before it's, you know, the proper time. Fear that you may lose and have to watch something slipping through your fingers that you were so intent on getting. But it's just a fear. But you need to be careful of your hopes and fears, because, you know, it's like, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you're afraid of, because it just might manifest that way. And because you're in like deep manifestation mode, you just might get that. So you need to be very, very aware of what it is you're hoping and wishing for, and what it is you're projecting, because you're like, everything come to me. Okay, well, do you want to manifest unto yourself a new journey alone? You know, so just be aware. And I'm not going to say like, stay positive vibes only. I hate that stuff, you know, because it's not realistic. And the Eight of Wands. Again, manifestation. I see this as getting what you want. Things coming to you. And there's definitely things coming your way. And it's something that you want. Just don't let this guy get in the way. Just don't be so focused on the things that you're afraid of happening, because they just might happen. Communication is coming. There's communication in your cards for you. I'm so happy for that, because at a time when everyone is like zipper mouth, you are now opening up and bearing your soul in some way and saying, this is hard, but I really, really want it to work. And how do we need to make adjustments so it can work? What adjustments need to be made? And then actually doing those things, right? Wands are about action. It's about taking steps. I often see the Three of Coins as being like counseling as well. Neutral third parties, people that have an advisory role in your life of some kind, and really allowing the truth to come in and not fighting the truth. Okay, this one came out exactly sideways. I'm just going to leave it exactly sideways. And Nine of Wands. Okay. Blockage. See the crab perfectly personified in human form. Hard shell on the outside, because of the awareness of the vulnerability and the a potential for pain. You, by manifesting a relationship or manifesting a communication or manifesting whatever it is that you are in fact manifesting, you know that you are opening the door for potential pain. Two of Swords. Reversed indecision, you know, not seeing truths, not accepting truths, a little bit in, like I said in the beginning, avoidance of making decisions right now, but it's okay. Maybe in the past, right? You were avoiding making change, you were avoiding picking a lane, you know, going and leaving someone or fighting for someone, you know, whatever it was, avoiding it. And the Hero of Swords, two air signs. I mean, two cards of swords with the air here. Let's just talk about the Hero of Swords for a second. Let's just do that. This is actually the card of Aquarius. I don't know why Aquarius has become a theme. Capricorn, there was a little bit of an Aquarian undertone. Obviously Aquarius, and now Pisces. The last three signs of the zodiac, the 10th, 11th, and 12th houses. Now, Aquarius, okay, is a highly individualized person, highly independent. Someone that, now I'm not saying you're dealing with an Aquarian, okay? You could be dealing with a Gemini, you could be dealing with a Leo or a Sagittarius or whatever, but they are taking on an air of the Aquarian right now. There may be something going on in that house. While there may be compassion and while there may be some form of expression or there was, or like, it's like, you know that they care about you, Aquarians are notorious for the disappearing act, right? They just leave. And that's the fear, right? The hermit. Are they still in hermit mode? Are they still in there disappearing? Are they still leaving? Are you, Pisces, the one that's doing that? Because just because you guys are different signs, it's not like completely unfathomable that you guys share some similar traits. Like, I see a lot of similarities between Sagittarius and Capricorn and Aquarius, and, you know, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. It's kind of like per season type of thing, right? So it's not unfathomable that you share some Capricorn and Aquarius traits yourself, right? Because Capricorn being, or sorry, Aquarius sort of being your, because Pisces is more mature than Aquarius, but, you know, as you progress over time, your sun kind of moves 1 degree or 1 day per year of your life, right? So Pisces mature into Aries, and Aries is their more mature self kind of thing, right? That may be lost on some of you. That's like a new astrology thing that I'm learning based on progressed charts. But, you know, you do have elements of Aquarian in you. So it could be someone else, or it could be parts of you. So just however you see it, however it speaks to you. But very aloof, very unavailable. We have the Emperor here, very unattainable, very unreachable. And doesn't mean they don't care. Aquarians are in excruciatingly deep, but they don't really explore that depth very much because they're caught between Capricorn and Pisces. How can they not be deep? How can they not have depth? How can they not have these realms? Like, they're in the same quadrant. How can they not have these realms of unexplored subconscious and emotion and desire? And I mean, they do. And just because they don't tap into it, because they don't see a need for it, doesn't mean they don't have it. So your perception, their closed zipper mouth, them not talking to you, you not talking to them, doesn't mean they aren't feeling things. It doesn't mean they're not talking, or it doesn't mean they're not exploring. It doesn't mean they're not questioning. They're not thinking. Thinking is how they feel, okay? They, I think, don't necessarily understand your depth, Pisces, even though they share that depth with you, because they see a reflection of a part of themselves that perhaps they avoid and they don't understand, and there may be a little bit of a threat, okay? But just because they're that way doesn't mean they don't have it. This is a shared energy. It's not just you. And the Ace of Swords. Not super happy about the reversal, okay? Because it is, you know, a tough communication or a lack thereof. Or often I see the Ace of Swords as an omission of truth. Things being left out, things not being said or not being acknowledged, okay? And again, zipper mouths. Just because it's this way in the future doesn't mean it's going to always be that way. I think in the immediate, there's going to be things that are not said, but ultimately you guys will really work it out. And it may even be you both, like, because you're both kind of the same, you know, with this Nine of Wands. And if you're single, it's all just you. It's like your own, the archetype of yourself, right? You are... There may be something in between the two of you as well that you're in denial. I will use the word denial here. You even have two of... See, these two swords are like pointing to this person. There's obviously a lot of curiosity about this, a lot of like you're really trying to figure them out. Like you just don't get them. You just don't understand. Nine of Cups. See, this could be problematic because your pride may prevent you from truly making the revision to those childhood conditionings. And that's a challenge because I think you really ultimately want and need a change. And you need, I hate saying this because I'm not going to tell you what you need. You're going to need to determine that. I'm not going to say you need to leave your belief system behind. I'm not going to say you need to change, you know, your core values. I'm not, who am I to say that? But I think it's, if you want this particular relationship to work, you're going to have to. But you don't have to if you're okay with maybe a different route. You know, because this is pride, this is an ego, and this does not jive with this. Because maybe you're expecting an Aquarian to bend. I absolutely do not think so. Nope, absolutely not. Have you ever tried to get an Aquarian to do something that you want them to do? That does not work. I have a love-hate with Aquarians. I love them because they have so many traits that like I wish that I had, right? There's a little bit of like envy with me. But at the same time, like as a Virgo and a Scorpio moon, it's like completely 100% my opposite. Everything about that archetype is so fundamentally opposite from me personally. And I think that there may be something of that going on as well for you, Pisces. Even though you contain a lot of the Aquarian traits. So maybe you do understand, but you don't really like, you know, because you seem to be more evolved, quote unquote, more evolved. Or you perceive yourself to be more evolved. Let's go with that. That's better. Because you're not in reality. No one is better or worse than any other person, you know. The healing, Three of Swords, reverse. Healing, getting over things. Again, all pointing to this person. But you know what? It's pointing back to you. It's pointing back. So there's reciprocity. I'm not going to say that this is like they're completely gone and completely cutting you out. No, I mean, do you see the compassion here? Do you see the outreach, the gift? There is reciprocity. You make the offer of the rose, and they provide a bouquet of roses back. Okay? Threads of fate. Another major arcana in your environment. Please have faith in what's going on. Please don't get frustrated with your lack of information or whatever it is. Please don't stress. It's all going to come together. It's all up in the air right now, one torn asunder. It's all in limbo. Nothing is formulating. Everything is just a one big fat question mark, as life often is. But seriously, don't stress. It's all going to happen just exactly the way it's supposed to. 5 of Wands. Your fear, again, like you've got some interesting fears. You've obviously experienced some struggles with this character or with this person or this version of yourself. You've obviously experienced or encountered drama, arguments, bad communication, competitiveness, power struggles, all sorts of things. But you know what? That is no longer in the cards. It is now in a hope and fear. But you better, Pisces, this is my warning to you. You better be conscious of the things that you are afraid of. You need to acknowledge it and set that free. Because the more you cling to it, the more it will manifest. Because like I said, the Queen of Coins, whatever she wants, she gets in real form. So if you're afraid of fighting and you're afraid of the power struggles and you're afraid of a bad relationship, you're going to get exactly that, because that's the way it works. 10 of Swords reversed. You are done with the bad stuff. I'm happy it came out as your outcome, because it means okay, as trivial as this is, the past is in the past. Okay? And some of you, this may be I'm going to put this out there because I'm going to actually really speak to one person that I know for sure, who's likely watching this video. It's a friend of mine. She's going to know who she is. I'm talking to her, and I'm hoping that it will reach out to the other Pisces as well. You may not be destined to be in a relationship with this person, okay? But they are still in your life. And children, okay, is the connection. And 6 of Cups below is often a card of children. And this is a story of you finding a creative way to live and work peacefully together. All right, I'm saying this because there's a friend of mine who has a child with someone, and it's been an ongoing battle for a very long time. And she is, without a doubt, the most special woman and warrior woman, right? And I have another friend as well who's also watching this, likely for her partner as well. Like I should have talked to both of them, but 2 like incredibly powerful, beautiful souls that I have seen overcome insurmountable obstacles in life, one after another, after another, after another, and yet they remain optimistic, they remain positive, they remain idealistic, and like I've never seen anything like it. And I think the universe is saying, okay, like you have paid your dues, and it is time for you to have some reward. A lot of people that watch this video are not going to make it this far. They're going to shut the video off. If you've made it this far, I want you to know, first of all, thank you. And second of all, like your reward is coming. It really is. And the universe knows what it's done. It knows what it's doing to you. It still remains indifferent. It doesn't necessarily care. But at the same time, when unfavorable planetary positions come, right behind them come the favorable ones. It's just the cycles. It's the way the planets move. It's the way it works. And it has given us a dump, like total shitstorm, right, over the past 6 months, a year for some of us. So it will get better. Okay, we've got an eclipse season coming up in August, which is very exciting. And I think there's going to be a lot of finalization of a lot of these energies, things coming and hitting at a head and finally closing out these chapters in our lives. But you need to be prepared for it and you need to be ready for it. Okay? Pisces, I wish you nothing but the best. And that's it. Thank you so much. Bye.